All right, we're about to go live here on YouTube, guys. I'm going to do some stocks to watch as soon as YouTube gives me the go ahead. There we are. All right, this is Wall Street Sizing Up as a channel. Clearly, we're sponsored by StockTrade.tips. I'm recording this live. That's just kind of what I do. I'd rather record it live than just record it and put a thumbnail on it and go. So, if somebody wants to join in, ask a question, go for it. No big deal. We have one goal, and that is to help you profit off the hedge fund bros. That's what we're here for. We follow the smart money, we follow the insider buys, and that's where we find a lot of meme stocks too, right? We really find a lot of good stocks, but we find a lot of meme stocks actually before they pump. So that's a good thing. Let's talk about the channel real quick. Channel's doing well. We got about 130 members in there. It fluctuates. It's gone from 120. I think we were at 140 at one point. Typically, we take if you're on StockTrade.tips Telegram channel, we take the weekends off for the most part, but there are some conversations on there. So we're going to do, I got one stock to watch. I am going to walk you through a couple of stocks that you want to keep your eye on for Monday, including some meme stocks on Reddit that we're looking at, and also on Wall Street Bets, which is on Reddit, of course. All right. With that said, let's do what we came here to do, and let's try to make a little money. So, all right. First up, we're going to go to, this is OpenInsider.com. So OpenInsider.com gives you all of the insider buys for that were filed that day. Now they could have. So insiders have to file within 2 days, right? So that's your C-level executives, that's your directors, that's your treasurer, your chairman of the board, right? But if you have some high-level connection to high-level information, important information that has to do with the stock, then you got to file. All right, only stocks that I would look at on here. Let me zoom this in for you. Just we're at 125, but here we go. The one, so you can see there was a lot on 08, but 09 it got real thin. So on Friday it was real thin. Maven I wouldn't. So here's one so SSNT, it pumped this week like 22%. Fact check me on that. It might have been more, but SSNT, I like this stock. This stock was pumped by Reddit. I still like the stock. You can see even in this little trend here. It's in a very, very good uptrend since literally October. So SSNT, you might look at them. I would tell you it's probably a swing trade right now, so it's not. I don't think it pops tomorrow, but anything's possible. All right. Next thing I would look up is CERE. Now CERE went public around March, maybe before February. They popped this week too. So. That was pretty impressive stuff. It's got a lot of hedge fund money behind it still, so I wouldn't be surprised for this one to pop pretty soon too. Look, so you'll see a lot of short interest, but let me tell you, there's a lot of hedge funds playing what's on Reddit and what's on Wall Street Bets. So that said, let's go to our bigger one, and these are the funds and the hedge funds that made some moves, and there were a lot on Friday. So I'm gonna try to run through this and give you a couple. Let me see. We're at 125 on this one too, so you should be able to see the screen. I could probably bump it up some. Here's 150. All right, so let's run through this really quick. JYNT, it's called the joint. They've got 600 locations. It's chiropractic. I like this stock. If you go look at this trend, it's literally up. It's up big, and it's got this tremendous long-term, like the last trailing 12 months TTM. It's just on a nice little ramp. JYNT. I like this stock. I don't think it's going to pump anytime soon, but I like this stock. Elevation. I thought about this stock. It just went public. Not enough information out there for me to really call this stock, but that is a stock that I would watch. As we move up to stack here, AEO, it's American Eagle Outfitters. This has some hedge funds behind it. It's not going to be a meme stock. It's got like 150 million shares outstanding. Steve Cohen is in the stock. He typically moves in and out. Select Equity Group took a position on, I believe it was June 29th or June 30th. But that stock is starting to climb as well. It's more of an expensive stock. SPRO, you wouldn't think Pfizer would act like an investment fund. Well, they got in on June 29th to June 30th, and the stock went up 25%. So that pump is taking place. Don't worry about that one. Here's ELEV again, Elevation Oncology, Boxer Capital. Boxer Capital is, if there's a pump, they're probably in on it. So ELEV, keep your eye on that one. I'm going to talk about ORGO, but let me go up to the top here. There's some fun. All right, SBBP, Stonebridge Biopharma, Stone Pine Capital, sized up. So this reminds me, if you do this, it's going to be a YOLO call. So they're being acquired by somebody else, right? But it reminds me of the Torch and the MMAT business combination. So you can, I would look at this stock. There's a lot of fuckery, if you would, going on here. How they're going to pay a price. And by the way, SBBP, if I recall, it has broken out even of the price that they were going to pay for it. So the market capitalization, the price per share, it's above that because they're going to pay a lower price per share and then give them another stock. It's really convoluted, but there's something there. I just didn't have enough time. My kid's been sick. He got me sick this week, so it is what it is. FRD it would be one I would check as well. All right, let's go back to so the stock that I really do like. I don't know if it's going to pump tomorrow. I do like it for this week. I do like it for a swing trade, and I'll tell you this: I even like it for a long-term stock if that's what you're looking for. Let's go to it. So it is ORGO. This is Organogenesis Holdings, right? You can kind of figure out what they do. They are biotech. They do a little bit of gene therapy. The share float is doable for it to become a Reddit stock, a meme stock, but the short float's not. And the volume, the average 10 day is 1.3. The average the volume on Friday was only 500K, but that's enough. What I don't like is if I go to where I put my trading view at. Did I take off my trading view? Let's put that back on really quick. Sorry guys, this is what happens when you do it live. Trading view. There it is. Stocks to watch. Well, not sure why that won't come up for me that way. All right, so you can see this is the 4-hour chart, right? It's done. It's done. In fact, I can squeeze it down. You can see it's done incredibly well over. This is going back to September, so it really started to pump in November. You can see what it did. All right, so it started this kind of downtrend. It's broken out of the downtrend. But it's kind of in this rollover. And every time I play a stock that is rolling over like this does, I mean that's a very smooth rollover. Anytime I play a stock like that, it never turns out good for me. But here's the thing about this stock. James Flynn signed it. Now you're gonna ask me who James Flynn is. So on the channel, somebody asked me about, is James Flynn, Deerfield. So he is the hedge fund manager, the GP of Deerfield. He's a very smart guy. He is biotech oriented first. He knows his shit, period, full stop, right? There's a couple guys in hedge funds that know biotech extremely well. He is one of the top 10 easily. right? So he sized up, guys. He took 7 million shares. 7 million shares. He's got a $112 million position in ORGO, right? It is in a breakout, but to take that type of convicted trade is crazy. That's why I think it's a good month-long trade. You know, clearly he'll jump in and out of stocks, but I've seen him be in stocks for 90 days just by his SEC filings, right? So I like the stock. It's 400% trailing 12 months, so it continues to go up. This in the bigger picture, you know, you zoom out to look out. In the bigger picture, this could be a pullback, right? But I think at some point this could really start to climb again. So I guess you could call that a pullback. What you'll find in this is 94% of this stock is owned by insiders. Now, here's what's going to be weird to you: 46% of the stock is owned by, you guessed it, Wall Street. So how does that happen? Well, the 46%, if there are 10% owners, and there are some big owners. Now, there's not a lot of hedge funds in this. That's why I don't think it's going to get a pop. But over the next month, maybe even a week or two, it will. It should really move. I mean, if I'm looking at resistance levels right now, I mean, this thing tomorrow could move $1.50 easy, right? Do I think it will? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you can see the bottom. Let me switch my side here. So if you look at the fundamentals here, the volume's good at 1.3 million. You can see what cash flow's doing here. The technicals don't bear out. They say sell. If you go out on the longer term to the week and the month, it gets back to neutral. But I'm telling you guys, I'm betting this more because of James Flynn than anything else. All right. So with that said, let's check out what's going on Reddit. So Wall Street Bets, what I've found is, and a lot of you guys are smarter than me when it comes to this, on Wall Street Bets, they're stocks, but and there's some calls is what I hear. But you really don't, they're not going to tell you what stocks they're trying to pump that day. So you really got to go overall Reddit. So this is the penny stocks. This is swaggystocks.com. If you're new to the channel, I use this all the time. I'll put it up on the channel. In fact, I think I did one this morning. There it is there. And I'll tell you what stocks are moving. Clearly, you can see what's still moving. IS and U are being talked about. Now it's Sunday, and then everything else is lower. Yesterday, when there's more stock talk, and for Friday, because you'll see a lot of this wear off after about 2 or 3 days, and you'll see a lot wear in. And I would tell you about 80% of the time, you'll see the stock, maybe two, that'll pump that day or the next day. It's really interesting. So CTXR, Zella has been a hell of a stock for us. XELA has been a hell of a stock. Continues to go up. In fact, on Friday Power Hour, I believe it took off, and I think we made a little money there. Support SPRT was one that we had picked up on this week. Made a little cash on that one. ATOS, Atosa Pharma. It's just been a heck of a stock. That's been a stock that's been on there for almost 2 weeks now. So you always want to keep an eye on them. YOU, don't know much about it, but it's being talked about. It should be a stock for you to look at for sure. And IS should be a stock for you to look at it as well. If we go down here, you can still see Carver's being talked about. TBLT, congratulations, DJ Scribbles. He was so we called TBLT like 2 months ago. He's been holding on ever since. Then got that huge pump on Friday. Congrats to him. DPLS, I believe, is an over-the-counter stock. CLNE is still there. HT is going down. MMAT, very interesting stock. It's kind of a rug pull, you ask me, but there are a few guys that are convicted, and I wish them well. SHIP, AEI, a lot of these you've seen pump before, MRIN. So we can look at that one now. If we go to Wall Street bets, if I see one that matches up, you'll see a couple like at the very top, which I don't hit. Well, here's IS. So, but again, it's not been talked about a lot. Excuse me, guys. That's very interesting because that just changed. I did not see that coming. Awesome. So IS would be one I would really look at tomorrow. I'm not saying buy it at open. I'm just saying buy it. Or no, I'm not saying buy it at all. In fact, I give no financial advice. I just tell you what I'm doing. I would look at this in the morning. I might put like, buy 5 shares just so I can track it throughout the day. Definitely through the morning, and just see what it's going to do. If it's going to definitely have a direction or not for tomorrow. All right. So these are a lot of larger cap stocks, some mega cap stocks in there, and most of them do not match except for the IS to the penny stocks that we were just looking at, which is the number one stock on the penny stocks. So, all right, cool stuff there. Did want to show you a website as well. Great website. Like you can put it aggregates all the data. I know you've heard this before. I told you guys about pooltogether.com, about the essentially you add Ethereum into it's a no loss lottery is what it is. Some people think it's a scam, a Ponzi scheme. It's a Ponzi scheme. You can pull your money out at any time. How do I know? Because I've done it. So it's not a Ponzi scheme. You may never win. You might win in a week, right? You may win in 2 years, right? It's every month. And how they do it, the pool of Ethereum, they take the interest off that per the month, right? And one person gets that. That's how it works. So you don't earn interest, but you can pull your money at any time. And if you win, you might win, 10,000. One guy just won, I forget what it was, 82,000 or something like that. He had been in the pool for like 692 days or something like that. But anyway, BizTalk, BIZTOC.com. Look it up. You can, but you can put anything. Reddit, Motley Fool, CNBC's at top of mind, Wall Street Journal, but it tells you what's talked about on Reddit, the markets, the movers of the day, Twitter, what's trending, which is very, very, very cool. So we like it as well. Did we talk about Power Hour? All right, let's talk about the channel really quick, guys, if you're new here, right? So, started the channel. We just talked about stocks. We also talked about crypto a lot too, because I've been in crypto since 2012. Didn't really start buying until like 2015. Got into Doge in like 2016. It was an asymmetrical risk. I got asked this question on YouTube is why I'm going this way. But I bought Doge 2016, $100 was a throwaway bet. And I guess the point here that there is, I pulled close to 5 figures out on a $100 bet. Took it 5 years, right? But my point is that if there's an asset that people find value in and you can get it for cheap, $5, $10, $100, and they can pay off big, you might want to play that game a little bit. That's called asymmetrical risk. Very little downside. I know that I'm losing $100, but the upside could be thousands. Doge, that's a big one. A lot of S coins. I know why people play S coins, right? Now, not the ones they're trying to pump. I like because you got to get in before the pump, right? But you can buy some shit coins, right? And maybe they'll pay off, maybe they won't. But do not buy them during the pump. Well, I guess you could. You might, but you're chasing that crypto just like I hate to chase stocks. So glad you guys joined here. So my point was, if you want to talk about crypto, we can. Let's talk about the one thing that I think that we do better than anybody else, and that's Power Hour. If you don't know what that is, that's the end of day trading. So the hour before the end of the day of trading, we call it the Power Hour. Let me see if I can find it on here, and you'll see When you see this, let me go all the way. Yeah, there it was. Did I miss it? Oh, come on. Just have the damn thing. All right. So when you see this, this is the last hour of trading. Here's what we do, right? Is it basically, if you're on the channel, if you can get on the channel, it's a really good time because a lot of guys have made some good money, right? Again, we're still on the test basis, but we've been doing it for 2 weeks, right? And I could tell you I've probably made 8 to 12%, right? Sometimes, as low, like on this Friday, I made like, I don't know, it was like 3%. It wasn't much. But for the most part, I'd say 8 to 10%, maybe 12%. There's some really, really good days. And I'm just buying light stocks. I'm buying 10 shares of this, 15 shares of that, you know what I mean? So I'm just testing that, but it seems to work. Here's how it works. Is that if you see a stock that is rocketing up, right? Whether you're on Robinhood, whether you're on TradingView, whether you use Moomoo or Webull, and you see it all of a sudden it just goes straight up, you alert the channel. And basically all you gotta do is put rockets, right? BCTX rocket, right? And if you see one falling like a rock that we've talked about in the past, you need to alert the channel to that too. Here's the thing. When this happens, we're typically in chase mode. And that's okay because on rockets that are rockets, you can typically make 2, 3, 5, sometimes 15%. I think my best one was, what was it? I think it was on Monday. But the point is that was a 16%, a 22% one that I made, right? Just chasing a rocket stock. And what happens is though we start calling these out, and it's not just me, it's the guys on the channel. So collectively, the more people that we have in the power hour, the better we're going to be because I can't find every stock. The 20 guys that I used to have can't find every stock. But now that we got 140 people, we can find a lot of stocks that are starting to rocket up, right? Now here's what you'll find though. Here's what we found is that when you do this, right, a lot of those, they're going to rocket up and they just kind of peter out, right? And that's okay. Take your 1%, take your 3% loss, whatever it is, right? But typically each day we'll find 1, 2, sometimes 3 stocks that'll go 20% up. And boom, you just keep riding that thing. You should keep adding to your position until you see a pullback, which might scare you, might scare me, right? Or right before the day ends, you take your profits. The power hour is the time to be here. So that's 2 p.m. Central. That's 3 p.m. Eastern time. And it's I never thought I would say this about power hour, but there's some guys on the channel that have made more in power hour than they make from the stock calls, right? So I was never a big meme guy. I'm starting to be a big meme guy, but I don't like to chase stocks. I don't like a 50% gap up. That typically does not work. In fact, I think the statistics are 8 out of 10 times, if you're chasing something above a 25% gap up, you're going to lose. You're going to lose money on that 8 out of 10 times. So you got a 20% chance you're going to make money. That's just the statistics, right? Just so you know, that is not asymmetrical risk. I can promise you that. So don't forget the power hour at 2 p.m. Central. I'm based in Texas, 3 Eastern, 1 o'clock Mountain Time. So there you go. So don't take too much of your Sunday or your time, but that's some important stuff. That's how we're making money right now. The calls have been good. I will tell you this: the calls for the past week weren't good, but we are seeming to finding calls that are or alerts is what we like to say. We seem to be finding alerts that they might not pump that day, but 3-4 days later, boom, it's a meme stock. It just goes nuts. TBLT was one of those stocks, right? Now that was 2 months later, but I want to say that we got a 10% up on that one 3 or 4 days later. I was already out of the stock, right? So, but that's just one of many. So it's a good time. We have fun. I don't know everything. A lot of these stock gurus will go on here. What I am though is I'm disciplined. The power hour, I'm undisciplined. I chase, right? And a lot of guys on the channel do that. You can play with small money. You can play with big money. I do believe that I've made money doing it. I know guys on the channel have made money doing it. And it seems like in the testing that we've done in the 2 weeks, seems like there could be a strategy there, right? And so that's the point. All right. With that said, guys, too much of your Sunday's been taken up by me already. I appreciate you guys. Watch your six. Go hard in the paint. We'll see you next time. Thank you.